Okay, here we go. All right, I think I got everything where I needed situated. Actually had to redo this because of the other stuff that we wanted to do, wanted to add to it. So this is your natal chart. This is the we first start off with, and we take a look at the snapshot of your birth. This is in whole sign house system, so you'll see the even of 30 degrees here of all the houses distributed evenly, and that helps with like keeping the delineation of like your where everything kind of takes place in your chart very nicely. Where in Placidus, kind of gives it like that overcomplicated for no reason kind of a feel to me. So that's where we're gonna start there. My cat's running around here, breaking stuff. So don't mind that. Um, so you wanted to find out about like your like almost like your righteous purpose for like what you want to do. You kind of feel stuck. You've been dealing with a lot of stuff with your kids, your boy, your husband. I mean, you feel like there's just a lot going on. You got a loving family, which it shows. You have a lot going on in that fifth house where you see right here. There's a ton of energy here, and this is the house of children, and it makes a lot of sense about what you're saying. And there's a lot like this right here. This energy is good, but it's just like a lot going on with that energy. Those are sextiles between Pluto, um, Mars, Neptune, and Mercury. So Mercury, Neptune, Pluto, and Mars here, and these are right here. Is kind of an odd thing here too. Is this is out of sign right here. So and plus this, they might be in the same sign, but this is where you don't have to do the intercepted houses or cusp lines or anything like that because there's a whole there's a whole list of mitigating factors that will pretty much make that obsolete in Placidus. So this is like your story though, right here. This is sextiles. It's a positive energy, but it's like an energy of like you have to work for it. You can't. There's always like opportunities there, and especially during the transits, and you just kind of went through that. But according to like your solar return chart and a few other things that you were dealing with that Saturn Uranus square throughout the whole year. They did it's one exact three different times because of retrograde of the planets. And that energy is like Saturn's like conservative, and Uranus is like non-conservative. It's idealism. It's like freedom of choice. It's freedom of authority. Freedom of it's the rebel. It's a the activist type of energy where Saturn's kind of like the Republicans. It's the old guard. It's it's my way or the highway. We've been here forever, and we're gonna do it this way. And you have to do things right. There's no shortcuts with Saturn. Where Uranus is not gonna take shortcuts. They're just gonna like blast through like 6 steps really fast because it's a really quick, hard energy. So like when that happens, when they come together in a square, when a square is already an energy of like friction and like it's a hard like a square. You can't see. You can only see like two sides from it. So if you're standing on one side of a square, you can only see one side that way and one side that way. You can't see the other side at all. But when you have to, only way you can like make that turn or see the other side, you have to like actually do like a hard turn. So it's kind of that's why they kind of give it a hard aspect to it. It's probably it's the hardest one. It's the it's you'll see these red lines here. Here's a square right here, and then it's always going to be like 4 houses from where it happens. Like one, two, so 1, 2, 3, and 4. But they give one here to Mars because it's so close next to these signs, and that's another reason how they can do the mitigating factors as well. But um, your even night chart is the first thing we go and look at. We tell right here because you have the sun here, and here's your AC. So this is the horizon line right here. It's the daybreak line and whole sign, and the angle points are just sensitive points on the chart. They just exasperate the energies of the planets. Whenever house it where because usually it's going to be in the first, fourth, 10th, and seventh. Those are going to be the angular houses too, so they're going to be the most active, they're the most um, prominent. and then there's succeeding houses which are, trying to roll up to it. So like, um, the second house and the fifth house and eighth house. Well, no, fifth, yeah, eighth house, and then like 11th. So like they're trying to like those houses are trying to like get ready for like to get you ready for the more angular houses. Then there's the cadent, and they're like they're pretty bad. There's some good ones, like slightly good ones, but but for the most part, like the 12 and 6 are probably the worst ones. It's only because they can't see the first house, so like they can't make a good aspect to the first house. There's only five main aspects that you really should worry about in astrology, and that's all you really need to have if you know the other mitigating factors that are at play. But there's the square, there's the opposition, there's conjunction, there's sextile, and there's trines. And there's two good ones, two bad ones, and then there's conjunction that's good or bad, and then one of the bad ones is not so bad, and one of the good ones is not so good, and that's the sextile. That's what you got all going on here. That's just got this working energy, and you got Mars, which is a malefic planet. Um, it means it's more of a challenging planet, but it's a night chart. So there's a term called sect in astrology, and there's two teams essentially. One team leader is the sun, and the other one's the moon, and they're called luminaries. If the sun is below a horizon line, then it's a night chart. So this is nighttime, like all around here. When it's nighttime, that makes Mars the lesser malefic, and then Venus your most benefic, so like your most positive planet, which we'll get to later here. And but it also makes your Saturn your most malefic, so your most detriment, your most challenging, your most restrictive. It can be very. I mean, this one can predict death and just terrible things. So I'm not trying to like scare you with, but that's I'm just trying to just put it in context. Then this Jupiter is your most, or is your lesser benefic. If this was a day chart, if this was the sun was up here, doesn't matter where this moon's at. Obviously, it's going to be down here anyways. But um, if this was a day chart up here, then it would be the most benefic Jupiter, the most malefic Mars, then the lessers would be Saturn and then Venus. You just flip flop them, and then Mercury's kind of neutral. It's feminine and masculine, so it can play both roles. Um, so to get to like the point of what you kind of wanted to figure out, and I think it's kind of just a combination of both that have to go together. It's almost like a three, a trinity. So so one is you, two is situations, and three is making something out of that. And that's where I think that's going to be probably the best bet for you. Seeing how that there's so much you have to like keep up with as the family, and like you kind of have to run everything. So it's kind of hard for you to like really just like separate yourself from all that. I mean, I'm not a parent or anything like that, but I can only imagine that'd be really difficult, especially with the stuff that you have to take care of. It's not going to be easy, and you have like you have moon energy here. This would be moon represents the mother, and it's like our everyday temperament. It's an everyday. The moon's with us every day, and sometimes we don't see it, and sometimes we see it, and it's just kind of like what we do in life every single day. Sometimes we see things, and sometimes we don't. Sometimes we know things, and sometimes we don't. Sometimes we feel things, and sometimes we don't. But we understand that there's an ebbs and flows of energies throughout the day, every single day, and you can almost track it if you're really careful. A lot of people are in tune with it. Like I'm in tune with it. I was born underneath the lunar eclipse, so I resonate with that really well. And it's in your relationship house, and we'll get to that later too. But there's definitely a square here with your most malefic, with your home life, or maybe your home upbringing, or a relationship with your mom, relationship with your grandma. Something wasn't good here, and this has maybe some younger years, or maybe that wasn't even the case. But there's something that's not right with like your situation at home when it comes to kids and whatnot. Like that's probably been something that's been, I mean, this stuff has been through with you your whole life. This could possibly correlate to this Chiron position up here in the 10th. Um, Somewhere probably around their age 28, there was an incident that maybe changed the whole perception of like, uh, authority figure. Maybe your mom or something like that. You might be even starting to feel it because there's some karmic energy coming here, and there's a lot like you have like everything is pointing to like whatever you've been feeling and whatever those questions you asked me, like you're totally in that energy, and it's like there's so much like hitting that type of like you want to be like get out and like have fun and like you want to like have a break kind of a thing. You want to you just want to like have a time for yourself per se, but not like you don't want to be like running from your problem or something. That I'm not. I don't know if there's any problems, but just what I'm saying. Like there's just something you want to do right now. I just need something to do that's like mine, and that's where your destiny's at here. So your north node's always gonna tell you like where you need to be heading. And there's some conflicting energy there. That's why it's kind of been hard for you to kind of figure that out. You do have like it's called a finger of God, a yod or yod, and there's these green lines here. So right here, your Saturn here, and then your Sun. So these are some big energies here, and these are called inconjunctions. These are out of sign placement aspects. That's why they're dotted and not solid, because these signs here don't have any relationship with this. So there's no feminine relation or feminine masculine relationship. There's no modality, so they're not like fixed or mutable or cardinal signs. I mean, these two are fixed. These have a relationship. They have a connection. There's a sextile here from sun to this, so there's a good energy there. But it that that means like there's something that you need to do. There's something you need to figure out, but you can't because it's like out of sign. So this is confusing energy for this placement for these two signs. But like once you kind of like get this figured out, and this is what we're trying to do, then this will all make sense. And this I think a lot of stuff will start gonna break free, and I'm actually like help out your kid situation, help out your home life situation, and it'll give you what you need at the same time. And it all kind of has to be like a nice little, you know, nice little pie. Because I guess we look at the zodiac signs, I mean, it looks like a big pie. But here with the sun, this is your essence, this is your drive, this is your vitality, this is your big characteristics, this is what you want to do here. So you're embodying like worker mentality, very communicative in it. This is like about nutrition and healthcare and the body, like disease and ailments, and like you're all about that energy. This is what you want to do. You're in like you want to help others. You want to be like it's almost like you want to be a nurse, or you just want to be like in some type of aspect where you're embodying the help. You might just possibly want to be like a worker for somebody, and not like actually be an owner or anything like that. It's just like you just want to be like just want to be helping people, and you have a square that's your MC, and your MC represents your career. 10th house is your career too, but this is how was what cool about whole signs is that the MC floats up here, and this actually helps out more so to delineate what you should really do. So the ninth house is about foreign travel, but mainly it's about like philosophy, and it's about spirituality, how you express your spirituality, temple, what you do for like a pilgrimage, unearthing things, journalism and writing. It's higher education. So like you might have to go back to school for something, or maybe go take some classes on something. But it's always been some type of energy here. Like I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. Like I like here's your therapy with your like that therapy you do with like children. This is right there, and it's like that's awesome. But like I think you said you're maybe burnt out by it, or like because of like what's going on. But I think that is kind of where you need to be, but not you just need to change up something. Um, I was mentioning, since this is your destiny here, the groups. Oh yeah, sorry. This 11th house is all about groups of people and enjoying people and going out and um, this is like the type of groups of people you want to be around. So like Gemini energy, so like really lighthearted and fun, but like smart. You know, they like to joke a lot, and it's just kind of a free loving group with like tons of people, and you want, and this is like, you could be like when you're at work, you know, this is how like you perceive, how you're perceived in your groups, and how you perceive a group. And or if you're like at a church, this is how they perceive you. Or if you're at, you know, a community center, this is how they perceive you, and this is how you perceive them. So it's a, and then it's a house of like technology and innovation. So there's a lot of energy like that with so like here you have the trine here to that with the, with your seventh house. You gotta make some type of relationship to this. It doesn't have to be a person, but like you have to put your heart into this, because this is about innovation too. So there's a lot of heady air energies. Like it's not all about the feelings. To think about what you need to do, you're really gonna have to like take control and find a tactic that's really gonna work for you. Like I'll show you like your progress chart. Like your sun has progressed into the eighth house, and that's like about control issues as well. So like I think are about to, like, you've been having some type of control issue going on, and you need to take control of like what you want to do at this moment. Because like only way that you're gonna be really well for your family is if you figure this out right now. I mean, you might be able to other ways. There's not. I'm not saying nobody. Everybody can do whatever they want, but like this is what you want, then you should go for it. And I think it's telling you anyways. Like it's gonna happen no matter what. And you probably already went through, because you just went through the eclipse season in your natal or in your natal placement. So I don't know, last probably since it was like the end of 2021 is when the Sagittarius Gemini. So here's your eclipse. This is what the nodes represent, their eclipses. So like the last, in 2021 until like 2020 of like March, you were going through some fucking huge transformation in here, and you're trying to get away from, this is the old you, like right here. So the home life of like expressing yourself individually, you want to be able to now express it out here in people. And you've never done this before in your life, or you've never done this in past lives, and this is the first time you're trying to get there to do this. And like it's telling you to, but you have to work at it, because it's like it's, because you've had all the opportunities here to figure this stuff out. And since you haven't really got it all figured out at home with the children, and your joy, and like what makes you happy, and it's all this like weird energy, like to go, it's like it's really good, and then it's like this around this sudden change stuff that happens, and it just like tears it down. And this can actually expand it with Jupiter, even though it's at home here. So you have a good placement with this stuff here, but it's just, and then it's like murky, and you don't know what's going on with this Neptune. It's like nebulous, and it comes and goes and flows, and it's like, what the hell? Like I just can't like ever get a grasp on this like situation at home with the kids, and I want to have fun. We do have fun, and then it goes away, and I can't figure it out, you know. And then you want to express it, and you want to say that to people, and but you get shut out here with this Mercury energy that's sitting here with this line with the house cusp here. It blocks it. So it's hard. It gives you a hard time to say something about it, because you're so worried about the health of your situation with your kids and your husband and yourself, that like what you really want to say here can't be really said. And that will change. That's going to change, because there's something that's coming up. So I gotta stop this, and then I'm gonna start another one, because I gotta upload it quick. And this takes a minute to upload, but it'll probably be about like two more videos.